Well, you've probably seen this.
From Hampton Manor. And what?
That's when
When you're
working.
working.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Except the sun. We used to see each other all the time anymore.
We're live now.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:02. In terms of reviewing the agenda, I would like to suggest that we add two motions to the unfinished business. One, a motion to approve the remote attendance policy. And two, a motion to adopt the partial real property tax exemption for volunteer firefighters and volunteer emergency workers. Under unfinished business. Okay, Amy? Any other changes, any other to the agenda?
Is that a resolution? What is the firefighter thing? Is that a motion?
Okay, and I guess we'll move into public comment. Ed, are you here for public comment or as a liaison?
As a liaison.
All right, so seeing no members of the public, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Amanda?
You all read them? They seem pretty basic, covered everything. Some of the basic changes that need to be made. I think they're pretty basic. Motion.
Okay, Mary made a motion to approve the minutes of the October 17th board meeting.
Second.
Amy second, any discussion, questions for Amanda? Okay, we'll vote to approve. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion approves, in this case, unanimously. Okay. Move on to you, Katie, with the treasurer's reports.
So we continue to be in good financial standing. You can see the statistics here, but in terms of the noteworthy expenses, one that came up was the Neisler's payment. It was a question by me and then also by Lynn. It is slightly over budget, but that is being absorbed by personnel savings, correct? And the reason that you see it showing up in both the warrant and then in the off warrant is because the library pays a substantial chunk and then employees pay.
So every year there is a employer contribution. It's one payment a year. And that happens at just, it's due December 15th. Several years ago we used to pay it on the February schedule, but 2 years ago, I think, made the decision.
There's a savings if you pay early.
Correct. Every single payroll, there are employee contributions that are taken out of the employees' paychecks, and it is their portion, their required contribution to New York State retirement. And we pay paychecks and they pay Neisler's.
So that addresses the Neislers. Everything else is pretty standard in terms of, mowing, IT, books, the things we would usually see. The fourth quarter, Upper Hudson and Hoopla fees were included. And then as far as the off warrant, there was a Globe, the Globe was the AWE acquisition, right?
No, the AWE acquisitions is
The computer that has the
computers, yep.
games and everything preloaded that's for the children's area. And then I must have overlooked the Globe, but it's a new Globe. It's the one that if you, New York is like rubbed out because the kids are always touching it. So an updated Globe was included in that. And then I did make an error. It says it was for 3 payrolls. It's actually for 2 payrolls. So that was just a a minor error, and then,
Can I just jump in with one clarification?
Sure.
Because I misspoke before. Paychex doesn't pay NICERS. We pay a monthly contribution to NICERS. The employees have they have it on their pay stub, they have the contributions taken out. And it never actually makes its way through Paychex, so it's just a minor, I misspoke, but it's the employee's contribution.
And while you're talking about that, with the NICERS, we always budget based on an estimate. And
Yes.
NICERS really does vary quite
Yes.
a lot year to year. So sometimes last year it was quite a lot less than we budgeted. Based on their estimate, this year it's a little above what we budgeted, so. They have a formula. And
Basically what it is,
vicissitudes.
if the stock market doesn't perform well enough, the taxpayers have to make up the difference.
There you go.
So what is
I
it
wish that would have happened in my
timing
private
wise?
business.
When do you actually know what the NICERS payment is for?
Oh, I don't have that off the top of my head. They give us two different estimates. They give us a projected and a estimated. And I can email that to you. I don't have it off the top of my head.
I'm just curious in terms of the timing of when we're doing
It's
the
after
budget.
it's after our budget hearing, or after our budget is passed. I mean, we've known about it for a couple months now.
Yeah, I just wondered if it was.
We usually just budget comfortably what we think where it's going. And
It's gotten trickier to budget since we moved to December than February, but
well,
at that
that's why they
same
wanted to
time-
move to the February,
Right, but at the same time, we're saving money. I mean,
several
it's-
$1,000s.
It makes
It used
sense.
to be a lot more.
Any,
So that's it from me, unless anyone has any questions, other than the motions, of course.
have any questions for Katie?
Right.
For no more questions, I will entertain motions.
I mean, the off warrant.
To accept the off warrant, so that's my.
Authorize the president to sign the off warrant. No, I'm sorry, accept the
I
off
was gonna
warrant.
say, Michael, it took me
sit
like
around.
7 years to get that
I
straight.
let it sit around because I always did the warrant first and the off warrant second.
Okay, so you are.
Whichever one you're
I have
doing.
the off warrant listed first. Motion to accept the off warrant.
Accept
They've
the off
already
warrant.
been paid, so, okay, so Michael's making a motion to accept the off warrant in the amount of $104,623.25 due to 10/3 to 11/10. A second?
Not either one, not 10/3, 10/14.
Oh, sorry, 10/13 to 11/10.
14.
14.
It says 10/14?
It says
Well, no, on here it says 14.
Agenda's different from.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm looking at my report. I
Okay,
attended
yeah.
that.
10/14.
Yes.
Agenda says 13.
Right.
Well, actually, the
That's-
report itself says
The
October
off warrant.
13th through November 10th.
Yeah, the other one says 13. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay, I see.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
See.
All right, so we're going to the 13th? We're back to October 13th.
I guess we are.
Okay. A second, let's, Tammy, I saw your hand go up. Is there any questions, any discussion about the off warrant? Discussed it, if not, all those in favor? Any opposed? No, unanimously passes. Okay, I'm now looking for a motion on the warrant, authorizing the president to sign it. That's Amanda. Anyone
I'll
second? Michael seconds. Any questions, any discussion? Any comment? All those in favor of approving the warrant, the amount of $201,502.97. Any opposed? No, unanimously passes. The financials, did you I have a motion to approve the financials with 86% of the year over. Katie, second. Michael. Any questions for Katie about P&L, balance sheet? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the financials? Okay. Unopposed, unanimously carries. Thank you. Committee reports, okay, Michael.
Okay, admin committee met November 6th. We didn't have too much to discuss, but we did have a few facilities items. The first one was the windows. The report explains it, but we had, initially, they opened up the walls and we saw everything and everything was nice and dry and there were no signs of all those bad things that we were afraid we might find. And we thought everything was good, but they still had a step to do, and that was to take the windows apart because of the way they were constructed, and there was a sign of a fairly minor leak. And so they took it apart and figured out what was wrong. We do have some issues with the windows, especially that window. And the intent is to fix that window. And we actually just got a proposal yesterday. We're still in the process of analyzing that. There's a proposal to fix it that I think is estimated at about 13,000, and an estimate to replace the window entirely, the window and door and the whole thing, the children's room, that one. And that's about 34,000 if I remember correctly, 35. I'm close.
Very close.
That's from Jerry.
That's
That's from Jay, and what he did is he got proposals from the glazing company that actually does the work on the windows, but we also have to put the rest of the room back together, and we don't have a formal proposal for that.
That's on top of these.
No,
So,
he included.
no, that's included, he put
He
an estimate in there of what he thought it would be. So we're looking at in the range of 13,000 to fix it. And we're looking at 35,000 to replace the window. I have some questions for him. I need to discuss some things. Our recommendation here is going to be that we send this, we're not going to resolve this tonight. We send this back to admin to discuss, and we'll work on it in December and work to do that there. I'll tell you, my gut recommendation is to fix it, not replace it, because those windows are constructed basically the same way as all the other, what I call storefront windows. Those are the big windows. And I need to figure out what do we do with the rest of them. And if we replaced it, that would be, to me, something we might have to, at some point, do a window replacement project. And that would be part of it. So to me, the right thing here is probably to fix it. But we will work on that at the December admin meeting.
Can I ask one question?
Of course.
Are they, I thought at one point they were also, once they looked at that one window, they were going to look at other windows too.
Not, well, depending on what they found. Based on what they found, they didn't think we needed to open the rest of the building because we don't have signs of real water infiltration. There's one thing. I'm just not going to get into it unless
Okay,
somebody
sorry.
really requests. I won't get into the detailed technical explanation of what they found.
Well, what I thought, along your lines, I thought there were other windows that were leaking.
There are other windows that are leaking. I think it would be better if we put together a full proposal for the board.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of complicated.
Yeah.
with
What they did, I'll try and do it in
The
a
trap.
3-minute nutshell. But basically what it is windows, there is a line somewhere in the window system that is designed as the line where inside and outside split. It can be either the front of the glass or the back of the glass. And water is intended, actually, that water will get in, and you design, the window systems are designed so there's a path for it to get out. And basically what has happened here is in the attempt to fix it last time, they sealed the path to get the water out, and the water is trapped in there. And so that's what we have to fix. And basically what Jay, when I talked to him, what he said was, we want to go through this one in detail and fix it properly before we just say what we need to do for everyone.
Let's make sure it works, because they've been repaired once before.
Yeah,
Well, they've been repaired several times, but they've been a significant repair.
the significant repair was done about 10 or 15 years ago.
Never worked properly, so before we move to all the other ones, let's fix this. This is the only one that has damage that's visible.
Yeah.
Who did the significant repair 10 years ago?
The same people who we work with, the same people who built the building.
So is that, I mean, I'm just wondering, are we planning to use the same people? that
No.
did-
No.
Okay.
No, we have shifted away.
The installers
Yeah.
of the window system themselves.
And so,
So that's that one. The second item that has come up is that over the last month or so, we have found that we have sort of been locked out of our HVAC control system. And what it was is there was an update done to the computer system. And basically it somehow locked almost everybody out of it. So we couldn't do what we needed to do. In working to try and solve that and fix it, it is the usual computer being obsolete situation. And it's time that we need to update the controller on the computer that controls the whole energy management system for the building, the air conditioning, the heat. And they did a temporary repair that keeps us going, but we really need to update it. And we've received a proposal, and the proposal was in a $20,000, it was in the $20,000 range. To do that, which we believe we need to do it, we don't really have a choice. But Jill brought up that we really need to add the computer server room to it. The computer server room, what they did was, at some point after we did the building, and computer servers were not what they were today, they added a separate air conditioning system for that, known as a split system. And it's independent and not tied into the building system at all. But we do run into situations where now we can't just open our computers, go to the building management system and find out the temperature in that room. And at times it shuts itself off, at times it does things. So we really need to connect that into the system.
Additional.
And that would be an additional, it's like taking another system and add it to it. And we don't have, I don't know if you've received a proposal for that.
I haven't received a price proposal, just, yes, we can do it. And
Yes.
I'm waiting for
Of
the,
course you can do it.
Yeah.
The actual cost.
So what we've done here is, I basically said, okay, I'm guessing it might cost $5,000 to do. So I'm asking here for a motion to authorize us to proceed with replacement of that system, not to exceed $25,000. If it's more than that, then we're gonna come back and talk.
and one other just point about updating the controls to include the server room. One of the things that we need to do for cyber insurance is close and lock the server room door. And we keep it open now because servers need to have air conditioning on, so we need to be able to monitor it. So this will allow us to close and lock the server room door and still keep an eye on that. And so that's really important for us.
What is the life expectancy of the software? Is there?
Well, this
Just
is
updated.
actually a piece of hardware
Oh,
that comes, yeah, it's the next level of hardware. I think I think we have like version 4 and they're up to version 8 or something like that. And, you know, we're several years behind. I find it very frustrating because from day one, you constantly run into these things becoming obsolete. And you would think that a mechanical, like the thermostat in your house you have for 20 years and it worked fine. And you'd think that would work here. But when you get into these buildings and computer controls the way they are, you now almost have to think of them more as the life of a computer, 3 to 5 years.
So is that something that we should try to factor into our budget
We
process?
need to
for the
factor it in, yes.
So
I-
meaning moving forward, every 3 to 5 years, we should anticipate a charge of how much?
Yeah, not at $25,000 there.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's that much, and I think we can stretch it a little further than that. We have in the past, but.
6 years now.
But in
Okay.
being conservative,
But it's something that you have to think of, that when we start doing our budgeting for the mechanical systems, that, you know, you just have enough money there, and you underspend it for 5 years, and then you spend it on the.
right, so
6
you're
years.
saying 25,000 though, that's what I'm.
Okay, that's roughly what it's.
I didn't know if it was both components would need to.
Yeah.
It's not a whole new rewiring, it's just the controls unit, so we'll stick with the same.
It's a controls
System.
unit and a program and programming
Yeah.
and making it all work.
We ask to maybe build in with a proposal, some type of, not a service contract,
Well-
but some type of,
We
we're
have,
gonna be needing this every,
yeah,
so
we have
maybe
a
there's
service
some- not
contract.
discount, but
As-
something.
We have a service contract right now on mechanical system. And, you know, for a certain portion of things. Big things aren't included. It's, again, relating it to your home heating system. You can have a service contract for them to come and take care of your boiler. And you do and pay $500 a year, but it may not cover the big things, which, you know, you'd be spending a lot of money. It's easier to do that as you need. Heat pumps here now have been replaced once already. in the building. So we've gone through one cycle of replacing those. And then there's boilers, I can see one of the 2 boilers coming up, probably not too long. The cooling tower outside is an item that will need refurbishing. All these things sort of build up now that we're at the 20 years cycle of the grade. But this control system is more than we should get into, you know, in a night. But I'll gladly talk to anybody if they want a detailed discussion, but it's been frustrating for me for most of my career.
Oh, boy.
Because the control companies put their black boxes in and you then are beholden to them and you're stuck with them. I tried working with engineers to get them to design things and put a system in that was open, that I could go to competing control companies to work on, and it's virtually impossible. So, we need, what I'm looking for here is a motion that we authorize admin, Jill, myself, to proceed with replacement of the controller not to exceed $25,000, which is 19.9 for the proposal we have, and a guesstimate of 5 for
Right.
Well, admin made the motion.
Oh, that's right. Admin.
Oh, and also-
Okay. You accepted? Okay, any more questions, discussions? You dare ask Mike for more questions? You know too much about it. Okay, all those in favor of the motion to replace the control system, 25,000, okay, unanimous, it passes.
and I believe we have the money to cover
Oh, in like,
in our facilities budget this year.
I like that you told us that after.
after we voted.
We all went for it anyway.
We would alert you. I would definitely alert you if we didn't have money to cover something.
Oh, boy.
That would be a very different discussion.
Anything else from admin?
We did briefly discuss the Skodak contract later. And finances, we had a brief discussion on that. We need to update the financial reserve policies. And we made that a priority item for our December meeting.
Marius, over to you.
I'm assuming, I sent out my minutes, hopefully everybody read them, I don't know if anyone has any questions on them. The Little Free Library, we're working towards to transition that into a county's lion's share, but working towards transitioning the book houses into the community as opposed to the library or being responsible for them. Because we just don't have, the library doesn't have the bandwidth.
Want to ask a question?
Sure.
It seems here that they're almost going towards individuals.
Yes, they are.
And can I ask, why can't we do it with the friends?
They don't want to do it, they can't do it. We've asked them.
Because it seems odd that you have this thing, just some individual out there who may or may not do.
It's
it's not
actually not,
unusual.
we're no longer having a plaque on the East Greenwich Community Library. We are giving it up. This is sort of a, this is something that, we've inspired them to do this on their own. And in fact, there are many more in East Greenwich now than there used to be. So hopefully we played a role in inspiring little free libraries.
And if you look at the, on the Little Free Library website, the organization, I mean, it's pretty common that that's how they work. It's not necessarily, the libraries aren't necessarily the ones. There are quite a few, individually call them showrooms. And then
Just
we'll-
curious, is there going to be an arrangement with friends to get books for them? Or just totally up to them?
Did you have any other feedback?
She didn't write back yet.
All right, that's all right. Amanda's also helping. She has some
I
connection
saw
with
them.
her, yeah. So we'll just kind of, and then I was gonna get you involved. But I thought I'd let you.
I'm good.
All right, all right.
So we'll keep it on.
Yeah.
Our agenda until the book houses have a new home and somebody to take care of them. We're not looking to see the program go away, we're just looking to have someone else.
But I'm good.
Yeah. I think two places we got picked out.
Yeah,
Pan
if it's,
Out will be
yes,
perfect.
definitely.
I know the property manager was really excited about having it, she just has to get clearance from corporate as per usual. So, and that can always take a bit, so I'll follow up with her after the break.
Yeah.
But she's really good about getting back, I'm not worried about like communication on that.
Yeah, it'd be good. And then, the bylaws, I think we touched on it a little bit last meeting, where we needed to revise the bylaws because we had a policy, policy change, public hearing. So, for the remote attendance policy, and also we wanted to change the way we appointed officers for the following calendar year, so we didn't have that gap where we were leadershipless as far as a board for 20 days or so in the next calendar year. And so while we were doing it, there were a lot of good ideas for kind of redefining the bylaws themselves to make them more understandable. And I think they came up. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on that, or on them. The important piece is we do need to try to, put that together this evening, because we have to have, the way our bylaws are set up, we have to be able to vote on it before we can do our slate, which is December, yes. Yes.
Is this one of these that we have to talk about a couple times before we
Yes.
vote?
So we'll do it we can talk about it today, but the plan is to do it earlier in the agenda at next meeting.
Before nominating committee on the agenda next time.
Right, so hoping that we can, yeah. Approved and then have some nominated part. That, at
Well,
next
they look
meeting.
good to me.
Good, alright. So. Okay.
Anybody else have any comments for Mary? Because otherwise, as we said, this is the presentation. So you've got a month to kind of really think about it and then hopefully to approve them, vote on them early in the next December. All right, we move on to Jill.
Right, well, thank you committee members for all your work. A lot of stuff happens in the committees. Greatly appreciative of that. Just a reminder on the front of your agenda, our new vision and mission. So I'm gonna do my best to bring us to that so we don't stray from where we're headed, to serve as the central hub where people feel welcome, supported, and learning and connected to community and one another. A lot of great things happening in the library. We'll talk about a few of those things now. So HVAC is already, let's see, okay, we're getting a much needed facelift for library furniture in the building. It's a several phase project. The very first phase is to update the tables and chairs in the youth services department and the all of the hardscape chairs, mostly for the main floor of the library, are being updated. We are moving into the main area of the library by the circulation desk and the new book area. We'll be getting new tables and new chairs, and the chairs are a different style. It's a little bit more modern, but still very comfortable. And the fabric is a vinyl fabric, so we're moving away from fabric that stains and is just a nightmare to maintain, and moving to an easy, clean surface. We'll be updating chairs in the computer area, and then there's new chairs in the silent area of the library. I did ask the friends tonight, just kind of giving them a heads up that in January at their meeting, I'd like to ask for some funds to do the next phase of the project, which we need to update, all the furniture. All the furniture here, other than the meeting rooms, is original to the building. We're also replacing some of the staff chairs, the ones that are broken and outdated. So we're excited about that. We did get the pause for a second.
How many years does she make cakes?
That's cute.
Modern and comfortable are not mutually exclusive.
All right. It's new and updated. I'm not sure how to.
You said more modern, but still comfortable.
And comfortable, modern and comfortable.
You said
Well,
still comfortable.
Yes, I apologize.
What's happening with the old furniture that's not broken?
So the furniture that's not broken will be, the tables we're sort of using a little bit right now. There's a few tables that are gonna go to other libraries. The chairs that are still in good condition, there's only a few. We're switching them out for the her room and some of the back office areas that have stains, so we're keeping those. The other ones are just all stained and nobody
I didn't realize just how bad they were until I went around to count exactly which ones needed to be replaced, because the original plan was we're just gonna spot fix them, and I found like 4 that were not that were not, just really gross. And the plastic chairs, we're keeping some of them and we're replacing some of them, the ones with cracks in them. So those are like, so those will be purchased. Anything that's worth money, we're gonna offer to other libraries. It was a big chunk when we eventually replaced all the tables. I think we could put it up for sale on the government stock or sell it off.
And this is something that is on the depreciation list that we see each year, or is that?
Yeah, but I believe everything's been fully depreciated at this point. It's long been depreciated.
So then we do that with the new furniture, that's gonna change.
We're not required to sell it at this point because it's fully depreciated.
Well, I mean, when we get the new furniture, does that get added to the depreciation?
Yes, it
list?
Yes,
Oh,
that will be
that's
added to
where
the
it's
depreciation. Yes, that
And
will.
whatever it is, depending on what it is, there's a different
If it's a-
depreciation schedule. Some are 5 years, some are 7.
Okay,
Sure.
I just haven't been around for this.
Yeah.
Good question. Anything
Yes.
over $5,000 is added to our depreciation.
And so, but the chairs themselves aren't $5,000, but as a whole, so then that would hit that threshold, right?
As a whole, yes.
Okay.
Did we get, is
It's all state contract.
that thing, no,
Oh.
that thing from Gilderley, is that gone?
Oh, it's gone.
The bin?
The bin?
It's gone.
It's
It's
gone,
gone.
good.
Sorry, we get back on track. We are finally completely switched over to our new IT company, so we're really excited about that. That's a big step forward. We are looking forward to putting together our cyber insurance application just after the holidays. We'll start that. We already have a draft. We have some staffing updates. Well, we're welcoming Jenna. I'm very excited. Jenna is new admin assistant. She replaces Amy. Jenna comes from the Guilderland Public Library and she's already jumped right in. She's also a notary public, so that'll be wonderful for the board. And she's just a great energy and staff are already thrilled. We have several staff who came from Guilderland, so she's jumped right in. Everybody knows her already. She's a great member of the team. She's been here since November 15th, so a week, just barely, just about. We have 3 positions open right now. One is and for 2 of them, we're almost through the process. So the first position is this media technology position that we've been talking about now for months. We posted it first as a librarian position. We got nobody to apply, then we reposted it as a library assistant position. And we had applicants, but we did not end up, we offered it to one person. They did not take the job and we just we decided to close it and reopen it. So we have revised, now the 3rd time we've revised the job duties and what we're looking for. It's been posted. We're looking for either a librarian or a library assistant. And we'll switch the duties based on what it is. So we're trying to make it a little bit more flexible with what we're looking for. And we do have some applicants that look good, so we'll be scheduling interviews soon for that. But that was just reposted last week. The youth services librarian position, we had a resignation of a services librarian, and that's in your personnel memo. We've been interviewing for the replacement for that position. We've had 2 out of 2 interviews. We have 1 more that'll be next week. Got some great applicants for that position, so we're feeling pretty
excited about the possibilities. We were nervous about what we were gonna get, but we had some good applicants, so that one looks good. And the outreach position was posted as well, so we'll see what we get for that. Books with Wheels, that's had a new sort of revival thanks to the, we had someone new requested, and we've gone out to the Friends and had several volunteers who are willing to volunteer for that program to do the delivery. So that's really great. So if you know anybody that's homebound, we do have capacity now to actually do the delivery.
It's like a Meals on Wheels.
It's kind of like Meals on Wheels. Some libraries have done it where they've partnered with Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Which would be an incredible partnership.
Mhm.
A lot of, there's a lot to do to make something like that happen, but it's a great idea. Special thanks to the Kiwanis Club for all of their sponsorship of all the Halloween parades that we had this year and the Halloween parties. They were on site for that. We had.
Jill, can I just, I'm sorry, but on the Books on Wheels, so was there a marketing thing? How were you
No,
advertising that?
we're not. We have not really advertised it. It's on our website
Okay.
as a possibility, but it's been, low capacity to do it. So we had one volunteer who was doing it, and you probably all know Kevin McCann, who was doing it over at Hawthorne Ridge. He's been doing it for years and years. So we've always done it formally with Hawthorne Ridge, and then, every now and then we'll get somebody to have an odd request. They've happened upon it on our website, and we've made it happen. But now that we have friends who are willing to do it, we that's definitely a volunteer driven position or role. We very similar to our book bundles though, where we have, it's a high staff, you have to curate the items, and it's a work intensive process, but great service to provide.
The Meals on Wheels kitchen manager, I know him. He lives here in East Greenbush.
Oh, really?
I'd be interested to maybe reach out to him to see if there's any type of like if books in with the meals. I mean, they the meals that they give on Friday, they give weekend meals. So people are given 3 meals when they go to deliver on Friday.
I'd love to talk more with them, to really flesh out what kind of possibilities there could be. So during COVID, we worked with the schools when they were giving out meals, and we decided not to do library books, to do Friends donated books, and we gave books out, which were great. In order to really curate something that's meaningful, like, new items and things that are really specific to the patron, we'd want to make sure they have a library card. There's a lot of logistics, but I think it would be worth.
But that's Albany. I mean, Meals on Wheels,
to find
for
out.
like Life Path, which is formerly Senior Services of Albany. I mean, it's Albany County, so it's like, I'm not sure
We
where.
need to see who's on the path that lives in our district to be able to figure that out.
But there's like concerns you, like, there's some.
Yeah.
A type of.
Super great things.
Right now, the Books on Wheels, is that delivering library books or delivering
Library books.
donations?
No,
So is
library
it,
books.
is it library books that they've specifically requested, or is it just surprise, here are some that may
Like,
be
oh,
of
here's some
interest?
fiction
Usually
or
they're not
history.
requesting specific things, but they will fill something out perhaps.
So
with
that you can get an
interest,
idea
give
for-
like a bundle
It's
for
like a
them.
book one.
Gotcha.
It's like a book bundle.
Okay, that's
It's like a
great.
book
Yeah,
bundle, So it's just delivery.
So then, does it come regularly, like, okay, you have until this date, or do they like request the service? How do they?
So they would call or email to request the service, and then we would individualize it. And then we would work with the friends to say, okay, we have a new subscriber.
We
Is
need
anybody
delivery,
interested?
you also, or you should pick up.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like.
If they need it.
I mean, it depends on what it is, someone could just be, you know, it's a temporary situation. They have
Right.
some, you know, it's a, so it depends, kind of individual. We had you've seen that exhibit, the rail trail exhibit. That was, I wasn't there, but I wish I was, because I heard it was
Great.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Great. Do you want to tell us what it was?
Yeah, I mean, it was the fellow who actually designed the sign, so he works for a company, I got the impression works all around the Northeast with historians, so he was very passionate about what he did, and he talked about how he got the contract to put up the signs and in the value of signage, and he was super excited about Janae because it was a work, you remember that?
Works Progress
Progress
Association
Administration,
building.
WPA.
It was a
And he
WPA
talked about
school.
the 10 motivational words that are, you know, in relief on the front.
The whole thing, yeah.
And, you know, he had great passion about, but he talked about his process, which is really to say, when a rail trail or something of that thing goes through, I just wander the trail and I look around, or I do a little research about what is it about this town? What would interest people? He said, because, you know, some people really do want to hear about a heron, you know, or the eagles live up there. But he said a lot of people want the history as well. And so then he works with the historians of the different towns. So he did the stretch from here, East Greenbush to Hudson. He got the contract to do all the signage, and so we worked with county and town historians all along the way. So it was a full house. It was fascinating. It was was really interesting and lots of questions, and it was terrific.
The Greenbush Quest was a success. Thank you to the friends and to everyone else who participated, the town police department, Kiwanis, YMCA, all the businesses that participated. We had 91 teams participate with 285 people. And the finale was here, and not everyone came to the finale, but it was still a fun day. There were different tables set up in here. And then in the other room, the police department had a drone demonstration just kind of going on, which was really interesting. Fascinating what they're used for. What a great investment for our community.
It was really cool.
It was really.
My kids loved it. We had so much fun doing it. And then we were not going to be able to come to the finale, and then the circumstances changed and we were able to come to the finale. So that was really nice too. It was just a whole all around great program experience.
The feedback was overwhelming too about the quest, and people wanted it to happen again. So we'll see. But this was a great spin-off of the strategic plan. So we're excited about that. We're gearing up for winter reading. Think Cozy Reads and Hot Cocoa. We are also planning, it's not ready yet, but we're planning a year-round library reading challenge. So think about 1,000 books before kindergarten, how that's for little ones, and that's year-round. You can do it as you wish. We're gonna do something similar, but different theme for adults. So Heather's working on that.
Before you're 70.
Oh my God.
360 days or so.
It won't be called anything similar, but it will be a fun program. Oh, I can think of so many things that we should not call it right now. We have the volunteer appreciation event. You should have gotten an invitation for that. That is a reminder. It's coming up just after the holidays, Thursday, November 30th, 5:30. Everyone can make it. It's always a nice event. Youth services and adult services team
they're working together to create a Taylor Swift night.
Oh,
They're all pop culture folks.
Kansas City fans. Memorabilia, memorabilia.
Well, we're gonna celebrate Taylor Swift's birthday. And we're gonna make Swiftie themed friendship bracelets, play games, and
Aw.
watch our music videos. And this is for all ages, for adults, teens, and kids ages 8 and up. And we're encouraging fans to dress in their favorite Swift Eras outfit. So this is kind of a different demographic for us, and we are getting a lot of people calling about it. So it's we're jumping on the pop culture bandwagon. And just for all you do for the library, and we're excited about where we're headed. So did you have any questions about my report? It's all, we'll keep doing it where it's tied to the strategic plan, so you see where we are for the month. Happy to answer any questions.
I just have one, I mean, is elder law assistance program, is that ongoing? Is that just periodic? It said it's collaborative with the legal project.
So I'm not sure if it's always elder law, but let me just double check that. We do partner with the legal project regularly. Let me just quickly find out if the elder law is a topic.
Who wants to learn how to play mahjong?
My best friend started playing mahjong.
I do.
And she's like obsessed.
Can you get it here? Like,
We are
can-
doing mahjong
It's-
here.
I was
well,
gonna
what is
say,
it? I
just
know,
got
but is it
it.
like beginner? Like, I've never played.
It's drop in.
It's like during the week, like between 9 and 5, so. I checked because I was like, I want to check it out.
So this is one of the things I don't see, I'll find out more about that. We partner with the legal project for all kinds of
That was
legal
intriguing.
assistance
I went on-
programs.
I went on their website just to see.
Yeah, we've done over the years a lot with them. The, just kind of going back to your thought, Amanda, about it's not those programs, the mahjong in particular is during the day. We've talked a lot about, this is a direction we're going to be moving in, where once we're fully staffed, we're going to be, trying to host as a lot of the programs that are for demographics that would be in the evening or weekends and daytime, holding 2 different events, like the same program. So instead of, double the work, where we're planning multiple different types of programs, trying to meet different folks who are working and have different hours. There's a lot of stuff we do during the day that they would love to do, people would love to do on the weekends and evenings. So that is something that we've been talking about, so it's in the works. Stay tuned. I'll let people know that mahjong is a
It's the sit down
Yes.
pickleball.
Yeah,
It's probably less dangerous.
It's definitely less dangerous.
We just need a pickleball court, and then we've got Taylor Swift, mahjong, and pickleball. We'd have it all.
The triumph.
We're gonna have everything.
Trifecta.
I had a question about the Great Rewish Quest.
Yep.
The businesses that participated, was there feedback from them as well, or just, I'll have to find out. Yeah. I'm curious. I'm looking.
More questions for Jill? Done writing.
Here, I just added one page, so I didn't have to do this. Oh, it's okay. Okay, personnel memo, we have 2 resignations, Amy Hodor, Jennifer Lovers. Provisional appointment of Jennifer Schmansky, and then the
the positions that I told you about before that are open. Actually, the library assistant full-time position that originally was librarian, then we moved it to library assistant, and now it's librarian or library assistant. We've been trying to, yes, one, we've been trying to fill that since.
Entertain a motion to approve this personnel memo. Michael, Mary seconded, any questions for Jill?
The media specialist thing, is that one of these as well?
That's the library assistant one.
Okay.
So that's the media, the top one is the media.
And then
The second one is the outreach and the third one is the services.
Right, any other questions? If not, all those in favor of approving the personnel memo? None opposed, passes unanimously. Liaison reports, Ed?
All right, there's gonna be a lot of things going on in the town coming up this next month. We got the tree lighting on the 6th, at 6 p.m. Town Hall with middle school chorus singing carols. And your picture taken with Santa. I don't know who Santa's gonna be, so don't ask.
I was gonna say, you haven't volunteered.
I got an 8-year-old, Santa is Santa, we don't.
Yeah, really, no, I know.
I was Santa Claus. Santa,
The wife of Santa, Mrs. Claus.
Mrs.
thank you,
Claus.
Mrs. Claus one year.
That was fun.
They're also gonna be doing a gingerbread house showcase. It's not a competition anymore, it's a showcase. So anybody wants to build a gingerbread house
Where will they be?
at town hall.
When is that?
We call the community and Greg's office, they will be displaying them on December 6th.
Oh,
They're also doing letters to Santa. They have the letters to Santa mailbox. Only this time, the kids will get letters back from Santa.
Are you doing
Are
that?
you doing that?
No, they're coming from Santa, we just said that.
Really?
Santa is doing that, in case my kid is listening, which he isn't, but
Oh.
Santa is doing it.
December 2nd at 5:30 is the 6th annual holiday parade. It's gonna kick off at Martin Electric and go up to Becker's Farm where they'll have fireworks and everything at the end. Military banners have been put on hold as far as putting up any more this year.
Weather.
I mean, poor guys, I'm not gonna have them up there trying to, too cold. Not to mention, the colder it is, the more things tend to break, so. But we've got approximately 30 up right now, and I've got another 10 to 15 in the pipe, ready for the spring. So when spring hits, we're gonna actually go right back to doing it.
I had a quick question for you, and you don't need to answer right now, but we are ordering those flags for some new signage for our parking lot. Is that, and we've been trying to figure out how we're gonna get them up there. Is that a challenging thing to do? And if not, would we be able to borrow potentially some?
What's
Works.
what kind of sign are these?
They're like the flags.
There, okay, and they're gonna come up on your light poles?
Sign
I
cover.
can ask.
We're ordering them from the flag store here,
Gettysburg.
and they don't do install.
No, they don't.
Used to.
We have, for this project, it's partnered with the town, so the town is actually providing the truck. I don't know that they can do it for the library legally, but there are other places that I can reach out to see if they would be available to.
We can do, I mean, we can do we can do shared services agreements.
Can we do it with our lift?
Wonder if it would get up. We might be able to do it, I guess, I just need to know how complicated it is, we can talk offline about this. It's not that complicated.
Where they hang them.
We would, Paul could do it if it's possible, if
Get
it's
the
an
lift
easy
out there,
thing.
just go
The
out.
lift goes up,
Yeah,
Scissors
that's
lift?
just how tricky it is, huh?
Is it a scissors lift?
no,
JLG?
no, it's just, it actually was purchased when we built the building. I had it added to the specs because all the exposed steel structure, I wanted it to be cleaned periodically. And so I put in the contract that we get a lift, and it's a lift that'll go through doors, and I think it'll go up as high as 20 feet or so.
Yeah, you don't need to go up that high, I mean, ours on average to the top are 15 and 5/8. That's enough to get a plow truck through or anything, so. Tractor trailer, you name it.
Okay.
But usually the mounting is. I wish I had one with me, I'd show you. The mounting is real simple, it's just one big clamp, it's like a big hose clamp.
I was gonna say, it's a hose clamp basically.
Pretty much, just a lot bigger. And it goes around the pole and it just tightens up.
Okay,
Yeah, we should be able to.
thank you.
I'll come over and give you a hand if you need. Okay, and I don't know if you heard or not, but the town budget passed. Not unanimously. There is a 1% tax increase coming up. Grand scheme of things is not all that much, but then I go, then why are we raising it 1%? Why are we keeping it even if it's not all that much? But other than that, I think that's about it.
Alright, thank you. Amy, anything from Upper Hudson?
Not too much really. The board voted to, decrease the staff work week. So instead of 37.5 hours for the staff at Upper Hudson, they're going to a 35-hour week.
Is the salary increasing or just?
No.
No,
Oh, so they're doing the trial at shorter work.
Well,
not really, it's,
it's just a little, so instead of 8:30 to 5, they're doing 9 to 5.
7-hour days.
So
Yeah,
That's
1 hour
actually what I
lunch,
did,
not a.
actually.
1
They
hour
have a
lunch
1 hour lunch,
too.
like we do the same.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I did when I left
but
my
we
old
have
job,
our
was the new one, 8:30 to 4:30, and now I work 9 to 5. 37.5, that makes sense.
There was some whispers of a 4-day, but it hasn't come up or anything, like something.
There's a lot of
There
companies
was-
trialing that out right now.
Not a bad scenario, depends on whether you.
But
stagger
same
the
salary.
work.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah, but
they've
just the
shown
work
that it
there.
actually, like
Right.
places
If
have
you're
done
working
it.
4 10-hour days,
Right, or
Is that what they would do? They would pick up the slack on the other 4 days?
I don't.
I don't
Maybe
think
it's
so,
like-
it's just a shorter work week.
Right. Yeah.
That was, I don't know if they take it into consideration for the next cycle of raises.
They're not doing, so we passed the budget, they're not doing raises. No one, like, there's
so
nothing like
that's why we're
that.
looking at it.
So then they cut hours
And
and
then-
it's an offset.
They're asking a different contribution for health insurance from each staff. So it was, well,
So
when
they're
Tim
paying
has
for
his
it.
meeting, which I believe is the 29th, he's going to tell us about their new contribution for health insurance. But, with the 35-hour, kind of maybe
Adjustment, they'll try
soften the
and
blow a
soften the
little
blow,
bit, I guess.
offset My son's company, which is a big company, they since the early 2000s, were on 4 9-hour days. One Friday is an 8-hour day and the next Friday is off. And that's really nice. Every second weekend, you got a 3-day.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
And that, I thought that was really nice.
So speaking of salary, we just did our compensation study. Which was great. We, the Castleton Library just posted their first librarian job, and that's our librarian starting salary. Whereas when I do the salary comparisons,
I wonder if
happening out there.
because it's more responsibility, because there's fewer staff at that location. Or,
It's typically not what happens with the smaller libraries, their salaries are typically much smaller. I
Well,
mean, good
they-
for them for trying to
They
pay.
voted in
It's
that,
a very
that increase, the tax thing, they voted that in, and it gives them a little chunk of money.
Yeah.
What they can do with
So
it.
we're gonna recruit, I mean, it is a tricky recruit, the landscape is really rough right now to recruit.
No matter
In
what.
general, but the library profession right now with masters in library science, we don't have a feeder school anymore, SUNY Alamy is, the programs that they have are not public librarian driven anymore, so we really don't have a feeder. So it is, there is a task force on Upper Hudson of different libraries to try to address this recruitment problem that
I don't have any new business that I'm aware of. Is there any?
Well, we have the 2 motions that were added that
Those were
we.
more unfinished.
yeah.
Oh, new business.
New And we'll move on to unfinished business.
It's interesting, old became.
I know. Well, as we age, we want new verbiage. Okay. Begin to resemble these remarks.
Oh, no.
So unfinished business, hearing no public comment on the remote attendance policy, I would like to propose that we make a motion to adopt, is that what it's? Adopt the policy, the remote attendance policy. Does anybody wish to make that motion? That motion be made by Amanda, a second. Tammy, any questions, any discussion?
I should say I'm very excited about this. I think it's gonna be great for a recruiting tool in the future, and I'm glad that everybody's got behind this idea to make it easier to attend meetings.
And my assumption is it's in effect the minute it passes, am I correct? Just as the weather gets bad, but I will remind you, we have to have an in-person forum. So I think the really most important thing is just to make sure you notify the president and you know, as soon as possible.
What is the amount for quorum? Is it 4?
4.
Okay.
Mhm. So, yeah, or Jenna.
Yes, please.
It will be Jenna. That's right. Oh, it's so exciting. Lucky you.
her assistant after all.
So, but that's exciting. Any questions, any discussion, any? Okay, all those in favor of the remote attendance policy? Oops. I will pass unanimously, sorry. Okay, the other one is the partial real property tax exemption. We had one speaker obviously in favor of this, and we are the last taxing entity, I guess, in East Greenbush to consider this. Did talk to the tax assessor, the impact on the other, you know, to me, one of the biggest issues was, well, how will it impact the other non-volunteer firefighters, because I think that's just a reality I think we have to consider, and the impact was tremendously minor, like it was cents. As I recall, it was 13 cents a year for a median priced house in the town. So it's really quite very little bit of money for the non-firefighters, and I, you know, think in our motion, we talked about the value that they provide to the community, including the library. We have this as a recruitment tool for them. I will accept the motion to adopt this partial real property tax. That would be Mary, second. Charlie, any questions, any comments, any discussion? All those in favor? No opposed, it passes unanimously. Okay, finally, I will accept a motion to enter into executive session to discuss a contract. Michael, second by Katie. All those in favor? Aye, unanimous. We go into executive session at 8:12. Hey, bye, Ed, have a lovely